Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot. Into the universe of Chinese, we are going to continue our discovery journey in learning just a little bit more about this ancient language. Yesterday, we talked about a Buddhism terminology that's called 一切众生, which is all inclusive, all beings included. And today, we continue with the concept of 一切. 一切皆有可能. It's contemporary. It's a tagline from a marketing campaign. And this tagline was by now probably known by every Chinese because it's one famous Chinese athletic brand. Okay, so we'll come to that later. 一切 again, 一 just horizontal line means one. Starting point of everything. And 切, we have this knife sign that's cutting something. And 7 is 7 pieces cut into. It's just an odd number to make the cutting a little bit challenging. And then cut into X number of pieces. That's the cut we're talking about. Together, one cut means everything comes from this one cut. There's no special treatment. They're all treated equally. And 接, okay, 一切 is already like one cut, no exception. And 接 is a kind of a similar repetition, but here it's like 一切 means everything, right? And the 接 means referring to that everything, like everything we're talking about, all the above. That's the function of 接 here. And 接 have this 笔 on the top. You see the contemporary and the ancient looks a little bit different orientation. And you see this 笔 and this 切 look almost similar but different. Okay, it doesn't have this. This is the knife handle over there. This doesn't have knife handle. But it's a kind of a simplification of knife's handle. Okay, so this is the reverse of human figure, look like this. And now this is kind of flipping over like that. So this, somebody also say it's knife, just like this, just didn't express the knife handle. Here's the thing, like you can never tell if that's intentional. The knife handle was left up. So that's still a knife, just without a handle. Or it's the flip of the human figure. So it could be two possibilities. You don't really, so now as the later language user, we cannot really go back to the original intentions of the language creator. What do you mean put there? Is that two knives next to each other or two persons kind of walking on the reverse side? Normally, humans walking. Okay, let's see if we can hack back. We cannot hack back. Okay, whatever. Okay, so in any case, it's two either knives or humans next to each other, and they are being compared side by side. So there is comparison on the top, and the bottom is the color white. The color white came from, it's almost looking like a sun symbol with one beam of ray. And, you know, in children's drawings, drawing the sun, we would draw at least like a whole sphere of radiance coming out of it, right? That's our sun, normally sun drawing to show the radiance. But in language creator, the case here, they just use one ray, one beam to mean sun ray coming out of there, without a repetition of all around the circle. Okay, so there is a certain extraction over there. I mean, abstraction. It's not a realistic repetition of the visual thing in exact sense, right? Okay, the horizontal line is also like an indication of energy forms embedded inside the sun. So it has a heat, it has energy, you know, beaming at us. And this one sun ray coming out of the sun, that's kind of implied. Like when in ancient times as well as now, if you look at the sun, that is the color we're talking about. So it's kind of sun warm color. I guess the sun color change, right? Depends on what position of the sun, what time of the sun, and what's the weather condition. You actually see the sun have a color variation. But of course, here is talking about the typical sun look that is kind of close to the human concept of whiteness, because the color of sun is indeed all the colors included before the prism. Is it called a prism? So the triangular thing to separate the rainbow color from this one all-inclusive color. And that all-inclusive color is the sun color. That's considered the white color. So white color actually is all colors included. Okay, so we have now something in comparison, and the white color at the bottom, I view it as, okay, so you are comparing the knives. Let's say just knives. When you compare knives, you most likely compare knives in regard to their sharpness, right? If they can cut things easily. But here we have a color white. That means you probably change your angle or judgment or criteria of judging. You're comparing knives in terms of whiteness. And then that means, okay, both knives are in that regard of whiteness in terms of their color. They're all good. There's actually no difference, because we're not really comparing knives in their original, like a functional capacity, but we're looking at them from a switch angle, looking at them from the color. And so like for color, like who cares, right? So that's the kind of sense of 接. It means we're not really considering their difference, because when we compare knives, we would like to compare which one is better than the other one, right? We want to judge. But here is when we white things out, like, okay, if we are comparing them in terms of color, like, well, they're all good colors, I guess. They're all white enough. It sounds racism now. Okay, anyways, so 接 is kind of very forgiving. We are not judging them based on a certain capacity, but we are looking at them on their similarities when they are all white. Okay, that's 接有. We have this three-finger hand symbol and this mead symbol at the bottom. You can see the mead symbol repeated over here. But okay, hand with a meat, that's a major have in ancient times. So ancient times is not, there's no refrigerator, absolutely not. There's no food industry that's farmed food of proteins, absolutely not, right? It's hunter, I mean, the language creation era, at least. So that's hunting gatherer and agriculture. So the meat, even if it's like a farmed animal, it's not like industrialized like today, right? Meat farm. But in any case, having meat was a major have back then. So that's considered you have this versus you don't. Okay. 可, we have the mouse symbol over here with kind of like a stand, stylized stand. I regard it as almost like a podium because that's easier for us to imagine. So the podium with the mouse symbol. So mouse is to speaking, to communicate. And in this case, it's communicate with the divine. So I call it a divine decoder, somebody who is stand in front of the specialized podium to speak, to maybe sing, even to charm the divine, try to give us a favorable conditions to live, right? So that's the divine decoder or message sender. It could be both ways, I guess. But in any case, if the divine decoder, after reading the signs, the symbols, or mostly the signs, right, from the sky, tell you, yes, you can start to plant this year's crop. basically it's function as a weather forecaster, right? And then if the divine encoder said, yes, it looks like it's a favorable condition to do certain farming activity, and then that's kind of giving you the permission because the divine decoder said so. So that's a turn into our concept of can. Okay,能is a concept of energy, but it came from a pretty complicated image. So here at a far background, which in a frame of 2D frame is like on the top, right? That's the far. It's a net. So we just use two crosses to mean, okay, it's a series of interconnected net over there. And then at the bottom is an animal that has 4 legs. So it's, okay, in later days, this language symbols got broken up, like easier to write, like bite size. Originally, it was like a connected picture. So here, 4 legs, probably with a tail. It looks like the knife symbol reversed, right? So we kind of resume to something we're familiar. We can draw it easily. And then the top is kind of like a head of the animal. And that symbol actually also shown as a spoon, like something you can scoop soup from. So definitely it's close to the mouth function of eating. So that's the head symbol. And then here is the meat symbol. And I would view it almost like the bicep of the animal, the beast, the muscle power, the representation of the muscular aspects of the animal, because of the animal to be able to survive, right? Got to have this muscle, this motion function. And the whole thing is a capable 4-legged beast nested or captured within the net, that the beast's energy were contained. And so this beast, I guess, represent energy, because beast in comparison to humans, they are more muscular. They are more aggressive in a certain sense, right? So it has some raw energy that beyond the humans' capacities. So this energy, animal form of energy captured, contained within that net. That's the ancient depiction of energy. Or there's another sense of this is a talent. If it's an outstanding energy that can be used with a special attribute of capacity for doing something, that's also considered like a talent. So energy, talent, I guess you can kind of convert them between each other. Okay, 一切皆有可能 basically is translated as anything. All that we're talking about, anything refer again, 有 is have potentials. 可能, like yes, you can, and you have the energy. Because you got a permission from the divine and you have the energy to do it, then everything is possible. So 可能 basically is Chinese translation of possible. 一切皆有可能 is everything is possible, or anything is possible. And then I want to show you the phrase came from this brand. Okay, this is the Chinese version of swoosh. So it's the top sports brand that's clad Chinese athletes as well as whoever work out in China. And the founder of it is Olympian, 1984, and he was regarded like a national hero because he alone brought home 3 gold medals, and he was so highly regarded, redeemed, like a bowed, right? And he eventually captured that goodwill, like national goodwill and fame, became an entrepreneur, started this business. And I mean, I'm pretty sure his goal is not just to make money. He probably see the gap of Chinese back then, 1984, of you can really use some good clothing or shoes, right, to work out, to be more active. and he is the kind of the forerunner of all that athlete wear business. And this is the logo from the marketing idea from his company, and he himself kind of epitomized that concept of anything is possible, because he came from nowhere, not from a powerful background. So he was basically from nobody to national hero, and that jump is legendary, and that illustrates anything is possible. All right, cash into the thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.